Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar about MySignals, in which we will describe one of our latest case studies that we have released alongside one of our partners from Mexico. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Fernando Rausell and I'm Sales Area Manager for Smart Cities, Industry and eHealth at Libelium. My focus is particularly in Iberia, Latin America and Africa markets, and it is a pleasure for me to be here with you today. But before continuing, I would like to share with you the structure that we will follow during the webinar, okay? So first of all, I'll give you an introduction of the product itself with some features and characteristics to then move forward with the case study itself in order to understand better how our partners from IPETH are using MySignals to improve the treatment of their patients. And finally, we have a short time for questions and answers. So as you have realized, the webinar will be done in English as well. So please post all your questions in the chat in English so that all the people attending to the webinar can make use of them. Then if you cannot attend to the webinar or need to leave it before it finishes, do not worry, as we will upload it in our website in the following days. So let's go for it. So MySignals is Libelium's development platform for medical devices and eHealth applications that allows you to measure more than 15 biometric parameters using wired and Bluetooth sensors, and then allows you to forward all that data to the cloud using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So MySignals can be seen as a mini hospital with the size of a case, as you can see there in red, and with sensors that can be used to give a complete first medical examination to patients. So the applications of this device are huge, as you can see. It can be used, for example, in nursing homes, can be used in rural areas and remote locations. It is also very interesting for NGOs. We will then go deeper in this part of applications, but it was just to give you an idea, okay? So once the information from the sensors has been captured, this information can be sent to the cloud through two different ways, as you can see there in the scheme, via Wi-Fi directly to the cloud, or as you can see, through Bluetooth to the smartphone, to the app that you can have there, and then send to the cloud using Wi-Fi or 4G, okay? So as you might know, it would depend then on the characteristics of the project, okay? Using Wi-Fi directly or using Bluetooth would depend, of course, on how you want to use the device, but you have to know that you have these two options available. So as you have realized, also MySignals must be used alongside a cloud license. Okay, so we have two different cloud plans that you have to take into account. We have the user plan, which is meant to be used to test basically the performance of MySignals. So this is the best plan if you want to try MySignals in a quick and easy way, including all the sensors on different users, as each one can have its own profile. And all the data is sent to Libelium's cloud, so users do not need to set up their own servers. Then we have the developer's plan, which is the best option for users who want to store the data gathered by MySignals in their own servers. So this type of plan allows to use the cloud API to read the information from Libelium's cloud and write it on your own cloud platforms. So as we've said before, the use of one of these cloud or license or the other would depend on the purpose of the project. So we've seen projects in which each client had different needs, and some of them want to just test the performance of the device with the sensors and just send the information to the cloud and see there how you can manage the different departments and see how each patient can show the data. But there are other times in which specifically in some countries, you need to have the data stored in your own servers, in your own country. So in that case, you would use, of course, the development cloud license, in which you will use the API that we provide to send the information from Libelium servers to your own servers, okay? And before going forward with the case study, I would like to remind you that we have a specific MySignals website available for you that you can check to see all the documentation available. We have also the cloud license information. You can see also more than 20 videos available to see how each sensor works and how the MySignals software and hardware is working, and how it must be programmed also. So please do not hesitate to have a look to that website. And if you have any other questions, you can just write an email to sales@libelium.com, and myself and my colleagues will be glad to help you. Okay. So now let's give us a step forward with the case study itself. Okay? First of all, I'd like to start with a very interesting fact that I've seen, which is that in Mexico, 6 million people live some kind of disability. There are only 10,000 physiotherapists available. So, this fact is huge. It's very interesting. So that is why our partners from Mexico has this challenge, which is bringing rehabilitation to social clinics in places where access to health services was difficult and is still being difficult today. Okay. So the project in this case study is being developed by KINOV and IPEF institutions. Both of them are part of a business holding named Orchest that offers global services related to physiotherapy through 4 business units. First of all, we will go with IPEF, which is the institution specialized in training physiotherapists in Mexico and Latin America. Then we have KINOVs, which is the institution that develops technological innovation and equipment for physical rehabilitation and healthcare. And finally, we have the holding carries out an important solidarity activity in favor of people with disabilities through the HUMA Foundation. So KINOV's team discovered MySignals and thought that was the perfect fit to the idea of bringing rehabilitation to social clinics where access to health services is difficult. So their goal was to increase the service coverage provided by physiotherapists and use remote medicine technologies to gain efficiency. Then people from IPEF assumed the challenge and start working using MySignals with patients receiving physiotherapy treatment focusing in 4 rehabilitations areas, as you can see there: sports, orthopedic, pulmonary, and neurological. So the research is currently being carried out with a group of 175 patients, with 50 people from sports area, in which they try to determine the patient's instability through proprioceptive tests after suffering a sprained ankle, using sensors such as blood pressure, galvanic response, accelerometers, among others. Then we have 50 from orthopedic area to analyze the performance improvement in university soccer players by measuring stability, strength, and power. Then we have 50 patients from lungs area with COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And the goal here is to prove the effectiveness of physiotherapeutic treatment to improve ventilation and muscle levels in patients with COPD. And finally, we have 25 patients from neurological area with spastic cerebral palsy. The goal is to obtain quantifiable results from the movements and compensations that patients make when start moving. You can see here some pictures of IPEF research team working with patients. As we have commented before, this study is still in process, so the team still have time to keep working with all the patients from the study and give a final conclusion. So if we want to know more about the development of the project and future steps, please do not hesitate to contact IPEF team directly. We will leave the information to get in touch with them at the end of the webinar. Okay, so please, if you have an interest, a specific interest in this case study, just do not hesitate to contact them. Okay. Well, as we've seen, this is a very interesting way to use MySignals. However, it is not the only one. So I'm sure that you have some ideas to use this device, and I just wanted to share with you some of the applications that we see that it could be applied. So some of them, as you can see, are nursing homes, rural areas and remote locations, as we said before. So in these areas, if you don't have close access to a hospital, this would fit perfectly. To make studies of human diseases, primary healthcare project as e-consulting companies or healthcare providers. NGOs is very interesting. Some NGOs has approached us to see how we could collaborate in some projects. Also research and education, sports centers, etc. Okay. So finally, I would like to highlight that we have released several kits in our marketplace, specially designed for eHealth applications. For example, as you can see there, MySignals Sport Performance Monitoring Kit, in which you will find the sensors that fit best with these applications. So the same thing happens with the following kit, which is the Respiratory and Breathing Monitoring Development Kit. So this kit has been specially designed to monitor patients with respiratory disorders caused by allergies that can produce an asthma attack. And the kit includes all the sensors that are available for these applications, as well as the MySignals software platform with some of the sensors that you will imagine, like a spirometer with mouthpieces, SpO2 with Bluetooth and airflow. And finally, I would like just to highlight another one, which is the Heart Monitoring Development Kit. So this kit has been specially designed to monitor patients with hypertension, arrhythmia, and tachycardia. So the kit includes MySignals software platform with the following sensors: SpO2, blood pressure, ECG with patches, and alarm button. So we have just highlight 3 of the kits that we have already available in our marketplace. So you will have the chance to see the complete website in the final slide that we will give you, so you can contact and have a look to this website too. Okay. So as I said, just have a look to the websites that we have available. Have a look to MySignals and the IoT Marketplace websites to see all the documentation available from the devices, and see also the cloud license, see the videos available, and check the kits that we have already released in our marketplace too. Okay. As I said, if you have any questions, just contact us through sales@libelium.com. So myself and my colleagues will be glad to help you to solve any questions. And if it is a question related to the case study itself, please contact our colleagues from MyPath to the email address that you can see there. Okay. So it is a pleasure. It's been a pleasure for me to be here with you. And before finishing, we will have a very short time for questions and answers, I'm afraid. Okay, so let's go for it. Thank you very much. So we have a question from Thomas Winterberg, sorry, and he's asking about if the dispositive is medically certified. Sorry, and he's asking about if the Okay. Yes, Thomas. In this case, I'm afraid that this device is not medically certified. We have actually some electronic certifications. Okay, as any other electronic device. So we have a certification for FCC in the States. We have the CE in Europe. Also, we are looking forward to have other kinds of certifications in other countries. And of course, the medical certification is in our roadmap, but not nowadays. Okay, this is something that we will try to study in the future, but not today. Okay, there is also a question about from Spiros, talking about the reliability of the sensors. Well, we have everything published in our website. We are very transparent in this field at Libelium, both at Libelium website and also in MySignals. So just have a look there to the technical guides in order to see the specification of each sensors. Okay, and as I said before, we do not have a medical certification, so our goal is not to go to hospitals directly. Okay, so we try to provide this health platform to these places in which there is no easy access. Okay, in order to give a first medical examination to patients. Okay, that they don't have this possibility to go to a hospital. Okay. So I see a question from Luciano Benitez. Well, we have both wired and not wired sensors. We have, if you have a look to the website, you can see there some wired sensors, and also we have Bluetooth. So there are different possibilities. Just have a look there to the website, and if you have more questions, just send an email to sales@libelium.com. And we will be glad to respond to all your questions. Yes, there's another question from Jenim. As I said, it would be great just to to have a look to the technical guides, because it is everything published there, and have a look to all the sensors and its specifications. And if you have more questions, of course, contact us. Okay, Jenim. So we've also received some other questions from Twitter and other fields, and there's an interesting question about the power source of MySignals. Okay, so MySignals does not have a battery to work. Okay, it must be always be connected to a power supply. Okay, directly to current. So this is very, very important. Okay. Must be always wired and connected to current. We have also another question, which is interesting. It is about if we provide any kind of intelligence in our MySignals device. We do not provide it, okay, but what we do is we provide this API for developers to that they can use, okay, to provide this kind of intelligence to our device. It is a very oriented to this kind of public, okay. So it is a very open platform that can be used from developers, to create their own applications and use the data that is captured through the sensors to provide then a complete solution to the final customer. So as you have seen before, we have two different cloud plans using MySignals. We have the basic one that you've seen, the user one, in which you just test the performance of the device and the sensors that we have, with receiving the information from the sensors in the cloud, and creating different departments and in MySignals cloud. But then we have also the developers one, which is more oriented to this kind of developers that want to use the API and then send the information from Libelium's cloud platform to their own platform, and then apply any kind of intelligence and develop any other applications. Okay. Yes, there's the same question, from Spiros. As you've mentioned, the API is available if you contract the developer's cloud license. So just have a look to the website, to MySignals website, and you will see the different plans that we have available. Okay, you will see the developers one, and you have an explanation there on how to extract the data using the APIs that we provide. So we're going to wait a little bit because we are receiving some questions from other fields. Well, as we've said, as these case studies is still been in process, it would be also interesting for you to contact directly to IPEF. You have the email address there from Eric Diaz, and you can contact them to see how the project is going and which are the next steps, and then see how you could maybe replicate that. As you have seen, it is a very interesting product. It has many use cases available. As we've said, apart from this this application that our colleagues from Mexico have explained, we have also, as we said, important conversations with NGOs, nursing homes, etc. So that's a very good opportunities to explore in those fields. Okay. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure for me to be here with you today, but I'm afraid that we have to leave it. So as we said, just to remind you, please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any question. Okay, not just about MySignals, but also from the marketplace, because as you have seen, we have several kits that could be also interesting for you, very oriented to different applications. So you have seen there are sales@libelium.com email address. So we keep in touch there, and thank you very much to all for attending. Have a nice day.